Alright, welcome back to my channel. Here's my Gen 5 Shinies ranking. This one's gonna be a bit longer. I changed again because I really liked I really liked the box of indifference, but I kept calling everything else S tier, A tier, whatever, so I gave them simpler names. The Supreme Shinies tier for, of course, the best of the best Shinies. Acceptables, just for Shinies are okay as Shinies, but nothing too special. The box of indifference is just Shinies that I really couldn't give a shit about. This is gonna be the one with the most Pokemon, probably. It has been in the previous 4 generations. The Why Even Bother tier. These are for Shinies that look almost exactly the same as the as the original colors. So why would I even bother trying to get a shiny of that Pokemon? Fuck no are for shinies that are, of course, worse than the original. The green tier, which in Gen 4 was smaller, didn't have as many, but there are a couple of greens here. And the newly added yellow tier, which I teased on the Gen 4 video. Here it is. There are still a bunch of yellow Pokemon. So the yellow tier, and of course the P tier. Who can forget about the P tier? Also, I was gonna start this video by saying, trying to be witty and say, I hope I don't mispronounce or misname one of these Pokemons by confusing it with another Pokemon, which I have done in every single video up to this point. But honestly, this is the generation where I really start having trouble remembering the names. So some of these I might not even say. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Anyway, starting off with Victini, the first generation that doesn't start with the grass starter. We start with a mythical. I'm gonna put it in acceptable. It looks really good. Now the Snivy line, Superior, the Superior line. I'm gonna put them all in the box of indifference. It's like a more bluish green instead of green, but they're okay. They're whatever. Here we have the first yellow tier with the Tepig and Embor, and the middle one. Who the fuck cares? The middle one goes into fuck no. It's ugly. But Embor, I will put Embor in A tier. I like the blue flames and the blue everything instead of red. That's really cool. The Samurott. Here's the first regional variant. We didn't have any regional variants in Gen 4, did we? I don't remember any regional variants in Gen 4. And Oshawott goes into Why Even Bother. It's really not that different to the regular Oshawott. Duwat? I think that's this one. I'll put it in the fuck no tier also. I'll put Samurott in the A tier. It's pretty good. I do like the white. I think it's white, the original, like the head spike and the leg armor. But sadly, the Hisuian Samurott is going into the fuck no tier because black and red, really good, and this one doesn't have black and red. In fact, it's all white. They didn't even bother keeping the red markings. Patrat, I'll put in Why Even Bother tier. The only real major difference is the eyes are blue instead of, I think it's red, the original color, and those look kind of nice. I don't like Patrat, but I do like the eyes. And the evolution, which I don't remember, Watchog, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm gonna put it in the fuck no tier. Lillipup goes into the yellow tier, and so does the final evolution, which I don't remember the name of. I think Herdier is the second evolution. It's gonna go into Why Even Bother. It's not that different. Purloin. Oh yeah, Purloin is the first one. Leopard is the second. Purloin, pre-evolution Purloin goes... I'll put it into Why Even Bother. It's not that different. Leopard, though, I will put it in A tier. It looks pretty good. And now the three monkeys. Everybody's favorite. The fucking ugly monkeys. Pansage goes into Why Even Bother, and so does Simisage. They're very similar. I'm actually gonna put the other, the fire one too at Panseer and Simiseer. Panpour is gonna go into the fuck no. It's different enough, but it's worse than the which is very impressive because it's ugly as shit. This one is the worst. But Simipour, I'm gonna put in fuck no too. Both of those are the worst looking ones, the water ones. Muna is, I think Muna's a pre-evolution that goes into yellow tier, but Musharna goes into A tier. It looks pretty good. The purple dreams, I guess those are, look pretty good. P-Dove. Can we talk about how this is just a bird? P-Dove is literally just a bird. They really went all out for this generation on the designs, huh? And it's going to why even bother, because it looks like the original bird too. The evolution, which I don't remember the name for, goes into green. And Unpheasant, here we have the first gender difference. The male Unpheasant, S tier. It looks really good. I really like the male Unpheasant. But the female goes into the fuck no tier. The female doesn't have the flair that the male one has, sadly. Substrika and the Blitzel. I think it's Blitzel. Blitzel goes into the fuck no tier. But the Substrika is the first going to the P tier. It's purple instead of black. Roggenrola goes into the P tier. Boldor, I think, is the evolution. I'll put Boldor in particular into the B tier. It is purple, but I like the blue rocks. But the blue rocks look way better on Gigalith. And that one's going into S tier, actually. Gigalith looks fucking fantastic. Woobat and Swoobat. Not Zubat. Swoobat. Green tier. Both of them. I don't remember. Drillbur and Excadrill. Drillbur and Excadrill, honestly, both of them, F tier. Fuck tier. Fuck no tier. Autono goes into the P tier, and Mega Autono goes into the why even bother, because literally the only change is that it has yellow eyes instead of red, and the little parts inside, like inside the cloak, I guess you could call it, it's purple, and it's in the original coloring it's pink. Timber and the other one, Girder, go into yellow tier. They are kind of yellowish, but I will put the final. I keep blanking on the fucking names. It's gonna go into the box of indifference. I think this is Timpole goes into the yellow tier, and the other two, Seismitoad and Palpit. I think Palpitoad is the second evolution, then Seismitoad is the final one. They both go into the fuck no tier. Throw is just a lighter red, so I'm gonna put it in why even bother. Sock is also going to the why even bother. It's like a darker blue, almost purple-ish color. No, I'm gonna put it in A tier, actually, in the acceptable, because I do like it more. I do like it more than the original blue. I forgot the name of all of these. I think the middle one is called Swadloon. I forgot the name of the other two, which is ironic because they are in the new DLC, and I recently played that, and I caught all three of them, and I don't remember. So the pre-evolution is going into the green tier. Swadloon is going into... It's going to the box of indifference. The body is white. I think it was yellow originally, and now it's white. I'm also going to put Livani. That's the final evolution. Livani is also going to the box of indifference. Scolipede line. Scolipede. I fucking love Scolipede. It's one of my favorite bug Pokemon. Scolipede is going into A tier, into the acceptable tier. But the other two... Whirlipede is going into the P tier. The original, I think, is kind of purple too, but this one is so much more purple, so it's going to the P tier. And this, I don't remember the name of it, but it's going into... Put it into the fuck no tier. The original one looks so much better. Whimsicott and the pre-evolution, which I don't remember. Whimsicott goes into the box of indifference. It's a red, blue horns, I think they are. The body is darker brown, and this one goes into the fuck no. Petilil goes into the why even bother. I literally can't tell the difference. And Lilligant, the original Lilligant, I don't remember what this region was called. Regular Lilligant is going to acceptable. I like the blue leaves and the pink flower. Looks really nice. But Hisuian Lilligant, I'll put it in I'll put it in the box of indifference. Basculin. Okay, Basculin, all of them, all three forms are just a lighter green. The red stripe does have an orange stripe instead of a red stripe, but all three of them, the red stripe, blue stripe, and white stripe, just have a lighter green, so they're all going to the why bother. Crocodile, one of my favorite Gen 5 Pokemon. Sandile is going to yellow tier. Actually, they're all going to yellow tier. I know the Krokorok and Crocodile are technically more brown, but they still have yellow, and it's ugly as shit. Darmanitan. I don't remember. Darumaka. Darumaka is the pre-evolution, and Darmanitan with its Sun forms. Darumaka, both of them go into the why even bothers it. I'm also going to put the Galarian Darmanitan there. The original Darmanitan is going into the box of indifference. And for the Zen mode, who the fuck uses Zen mode, man? I don't even know. I'm gonna put the Galarian one in A tier because I do like that red. But the other one is just going to the box of indifference. Not because it's okay or whatever, it's just I don't give a shit. The cactus thing that I can't remember the name of is going into the fuck no tier. It looks worse than the original one. Dwebble goes into the why even bother. But the evolution, which I can't remember the name right now, goes into the green. Okay, this is Crustal, and these are Scraggy and Scrafty. I can't believe I had to look that up. Okay, I'm losing it, man. Oh, Pokemon, what are you doing to me? Scraggy and Scrafty. Scraggy goes into the why even bother. It's really not that different, but Scrafty goes into the green tier. Sigilif goes into the S tier. It looks really cool. Both Yamask forms, I'm gonna put them in the box of indifference. But Cofagrigus, I will put it in S tier. I really like it. The silver body with the pink marks looks really good. I would have preferred the ghost part to be black, like the original one, but it's okay. Tirtuga and Caracosta. Tirtuga goes into the fuck no tier. It looks worse than the original one, but Caracosta is gonna go into the why even bother. It's like a darker blue, and the shell is blue. Actually, I think the original shell is black. Archon. I think this Archon goes into the green tier, and Archeops goes into the why even bother. It's not that different to the original Archeops. Trubbish and Garbodor, the trash bag. Trubbish goes into the box of indifference, and Garbodor, honestly, Garbodor goes into the fuck no tier. Gigantamax is gonna go into the, I'm gonna put it in the box of indifference too. At least it's not as noticeably bright as the base form. Zorua and Zoroark. See, these ones I remember. Zorua itself is going in the base. Zorua is going into S tier. I really like the blue markings instead of the red. Sadly, base original Zorua goes into the acceptable, because if it had kept that blue that Zorua had, it would have gone into S tier too, but it doesn't. So it goes into the acceptable. It still looks pretty good. Hisuian Zorua, I'm gonna put it also in acceptable, but Hisuian Zoroark goes into S because the purple makes it even more ghost-ish. Minccino and Cinccino. Minccino goes into the P tier and Cinccino goes into the yellow tier. I don't remember. I know Gothitelle is the final evolution, and these also have Goth in the name. I don't remember. One of them is Gothorita, and I don't know which one it is. But whichever one it is, the first one, the pre-evolution, is going into why even bother. I can't even tell the difference. I'm gonna put the evolution there too. The middle one. It also goes into the why even bother. I also can't tell the difference. But Gothitelle, the final evolution, goes into the fuck no tier because the black is really good and this is not good. Reuniclus. These particular pictures don't do it justice for some reason. They put the membrane around it very transparent, but the shiny is actually like blue instead of green. The original is green and the shinies are more bluish. I'm gonna put them all in the box of indifference. These pictures are really bad, but I'm gonna put them all in the box of indifference. Ducklet and Swanna both go into the P tier. Swanna isn't as purple, but it does have those purple feathers in the front, which is pretty much the only difference. Vanillite. Vanillux, I think, is the final evolution. I don't remember. One of the other two is Vanillite. I don't remember. Anyway, the original one, the first stage goes into the P tier, and the other two go into the why even bother. They're not that different. Okay, Deerling and Swasbuck. I only put one of the forms in here for both of them because I couldn't bother doing all of them. I don't want to have to deal with 8 fucking different pictures. But just know that all of them are gonna go into the why even bother. I checked all of them. The only difference in Deerling, all of the Deerlings have a slightly darker body, and then the little tuft of hair on the top of their heads is pink instead of orange in the original colors. And then Swasbuck, the only real difference is that their bodies are orange instead of brown. Emolga goes into the box of indifference. It's brown instead of black, but it doesn't look terrible. Excavalier. I think Excavalier is the evolution. I don't remember the first stage's name. I'm gonna put both of them in the box of indifference, actually. Now, Fungus and Amungus. Is Among Us still funny? Like Voltorb, they just changed the color, but this one is more purple instead of blue. It's more like a Master Ball. I'm gonna put them in the box of indifference because it's whatever. Frillish and Jellicent, the male and female. Frillish, both of them are gonna go into the why even bother. They're not that different, but the evolutions actually look pretty different. The male Jellicent goes into the green tier, and the other one goes into the P tier. It is pink. The original is pink, but this one's purple, so P tier. Alomomola goes into the why even bother. Joltik also is not that different. It's a different shade of yellow. And Galvantula too. Why not? Let's just put them both in why even bother. Okay, Pharaoh Seed, S tier. I like the blue spikes instead of green. But then they ruined it for Ferrothorn, which goes into the fuck no tier. Why did they make it like yellow and... Actually, yeah, yellow tier. What am I doing? Yellow tier. It goes into yellow tier. The red tentacle things are usually green, but they should have been blue, like in Pharaoh Seed. The entire Clink, Clang, and Clink Clang lines go into yellow. Can't believe they actually named those guys Clink, Clang, and Clink Clang. Gen 5! I don't like Gen 5. Okay. Dynamo goes into the why even bother. It's just like slightly bluer. The second stage also goes into why even bother. I don't even remember the name. But Electros goes into the fuck no tier. Electros is one of the Gen 5 Pokemon that I really like. And the shiny is that... Actually, that goes into green. That's basically green, right? Yeah, it goes into green tier. And also it's called Electros, like Eo, because it's not an Eo, actually. It's another thing that I can't remember the name of right now, but they are super gross. LGM and BEGM, they both go into why even bother. The only real difference is the color of the eyes. Chandelure, another fucking fantastic Gen 5 Pokemon. Litwick, I think Litwick is the first stage, is going to the box of indifference, and also the second one, Lampent, also goes into a box of indifference. But Chandelure goes into S tier. I really like the purple, the original purple flames too, but this one looks rad as shit. Here's another great set of Gen 5 Pokemon. Axew goes into the box of indifference. Haxorus, no, not Haxorus. Haxorus is the Haxorus goes into S tier, black and red, S tier. The second one, which I can't... Oh, Fracturus? Something about frax. Like a fraction, I guess. I'm gonna put it in A tier. It looks pretty good. Cubchoo. Cubchoo goes into the P tier, and the evolution, which I can't remember the name of, goes into the why even bother. Cryogonal goes into the fuck no tier. The insides, the eyes, and the little mouth balls are yellow. I don't remember what the original color is, but it's not yellow, and it looks better. And the body is also a little bit different. It's more blue. Excelgor and its pre-evolution, which I can't remember the name of, but both of them go into the yellow tier. Shelmet. That's the name. Stunfisk, both of them go into the yellow tier too. The main difference is the regular Stunfisk, I think, is already like this color. The main difference is the blue. I'm just gonna put in fuck no. It looks worse. The Galarian one changes. The little paw marks on it and its face are green in the original, or some other color. They're not yellow. Mienshao and Mienfoo. Mienfoo goes into the acceptable. It's okay. Blue is okay. But Mienshao goes into the P tier. Druddigon goes into the green tier. Jardigon is weird. I like the design, but it's so jarring, the blue and red of the original one. It looks like a toy. I don't know what the idea behind it is, but it looked like a toy, but I still like how it looks. The shiny version though, not so much. Golett and Golurk, I'll put them both in A tier. They look pretty good. Pawniard and Bisharp, I'm gonna put them in acceptable, sure. I like the red better, but these are unique enough that they could be acceptable. Bouffalant, not a Tauros evolution, but a completely different Pokemon that should be an evolution. It's going into the box of indifference. Braviary and the pre-evolution, whatever it's called. The pre-evolution goes into why even bother. It's not that different to the... I think the body is brown, but regular Braviary goes into acceptable. I really like the red, similar to Bisharp. I really like the red, but this blue doesn't look terrible. And Hisuian Braviary also goes into S tier. They changed the white feathers to fucking black and looks awesome. Followed by a Mandibuzz. They both go into the P tier. More pink and purple for Mandibuzz specifically. Heatmore and Durant. Durant goes into the fuck no tier. The original Durant looks super cool with the red eyes and the silver body, and this one is just uglier. But the Heatmore goes into acceptable. I don't understand why they keep making these pseudo legendaries so shit. But Dano go Zwalius, whatever, and Hydreigon go into the green tier. Volcarona and its pre-evolution, which I can't remember the name of, go into yellow tier, sadly. The red looks so good. Actually, I'm gonna put Volcarona itself into A tier. This one looks pretty good. The red looks better, but yellow isn't too bad. This one, who the fuck cares? Larvesta. It's called Larvesta. The Legendaries. And breaking the tradition, the first trio, the Source of Justice, F tier. Fuck no tier for Terrakion. Virizion goes into the P tier. And Cobalion just goes into the... Why even bother? It's not that different. And the Genies, or the Forces of Nature. Oh... The forces of nature go into the why even bother? They're not that different. At least Tornadus isn't that different. I actually think I'm gonna have to put Thundurus in the P tier because it's more pink. That's the difference. Reshiram goes into the fuck no tier. Or actually, I'm gonna put in why even bother. The only real difference is it has these like yellow rings on the tail and the neck. And Zekrom is going to fuck no. Because black is super cool, and this is just, they changed it to slightly more blue. Now, Landorus. I'm gonna put Landorus in why even bother. Again, it's not super different from its original one. Kyurem, base form Kyurem goes into the fuck no. It looks worse than the regular, the gray in the original color. It looks super good. But Kyurem black and Kyurem white, I'm gonna put them in why even bother. I can't really see any difference. Keldeo, the final Sword of Justice, goes into the green tier, both forms. Meloetta, Purette Meloetta goes into the P tier. And Aria Meloetta, actually I'm gonna put in acceptable. I like the green, but this one looks pretty good. And Genesect, I'm sure people who watched the Genesect movie, which I haven't watched, may not like this, but I'm gonna put it in fuck no because the purple is super cool and this red is ugly as shit. Here we go, Gen 5. I'm not a fan of Gen 5. Some of the designs of these Pokemon are really questionable, and I mentioned at the beginning, the box of indifference is usually like the biggest one. But as you can see here, why even bother is the biggest one here because they obviously didn't give a shit. And you know, Game Freak couldn't give a shit about Gen 5. I don't give a shit about Gen 5. So yeah, here we are. Gen 5. That's the final tier list. Sorry for all the negativity, but I can't. And those are the next remakes that are coming. I'm like super sure. And I'm sure I'm still gonna buy it. I'm still gonna play them, and I'm still gonna enjoy them because I'm a Pokemon simp. Hopefully I enjoy it. I'll leave all the criticism for Gen 5 for those videos whenever they come out, whenever they show up. I am hoping for a Legends Arceus type thing with Kyurem because that's the chance. That would be the game where we get to see what Kyurem or not Kieran, the original dragon looked like. Anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe for the next four. We still have 4 generations to go. Okay. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.